Hi, welcome to your chair yoga intro class. I figured that it may be a nice place to come and watch a short video if you're new to chair yoga or you just kind of feel like you never got some basic questions answered before you go into more of my classes. So, as far as the chair goes, choosing a chair is important. The most important thing is that the chair doesn't have wheels, obviously. You want to be able to be sturdy. If it does have wheels and you can lock them and you feel supported there and comfortable, that's okay too. For me, my favorite chair is just this basic folding chair. So this particular chair has a little padding on the seat. If you have an option, I would definitely go for that one. Just feels a little bit nicer to sit on. If you do have a hard chair, you can always place a blanket, but just make sure you feel stable. If you're doing twisting, you don't want to twist your way out of the chair. Another feature that's really important is that you have no arms on the chair. You want to be able to have full range of motion in outward positions, and you also want to be able to twist. So finding a chair without arms is really helpful here. As far as props go, you don't need props. Most classes I teach don't require props. But if you have them and you want to use them, you have some options. One of which, if you have shorter legs, I'm on the shorter side, sometimes it feels nice to place the blocks down under your feet. And that just allows the floor to come up toward you a little bit more, allowing the right angles underneath the knees. So we want to look for a right angle under the knee. So if your feet are having to kind of reach toward the ground, that might straighten out that area behind the knee, and it might feel a little more supportive to have those blocks and allow the feet to have nice firm ground to sink into for stability. Another place that you can use the blocks, I'm going to turn my chair to the side here and just show you some placements behind the back. So typically I guide for students to sit more in the center or toward the front of the chair, never too far forward that you feel unstable, but feeling stable somewhere in the center or toward the front. This just allows a flat back. You don't want to lean into the chair or slouch into the chair in yoga. Any opportunity to work the core and keeping that engaged, and also staying long through the spine for lengthening. Um, so not using the back of the chair is great if you can, but I know for some people that's not an option. You need that support. So you can sit back into the chair, but still trying to keep that flat back as much as possible. And this chair particularly has kind of an incline. So using a block to make that a little bit more connected to your back or maybe a little flatter can be really helpful. You can do that on the thinner option or also by moving that out a little further and just having something to lean into without kind of allowing yourself to fully fall into the chair. So those are some options there. From this angle, it's a nice place to show again that nice right angle underneath the knees. So I'm right at that place where I can do it without the blocks. It might be just a little bit more supported with the blocks. So that's a choice. And then here again, a right angle at the hip area so that the back is up nice and tall. The shoulders are roughly over your hips. Hips are about in line with the width of your knees. For the most part, of course, I'll guide, or any teacher will guide different variations throughout classes for different poses, but your typical basically mountain pose or resting pose in chair yoga will look something like this. Hands can be on lap, hands can be at sides. Hands can use the sides of the chair for support. So sometimes when you're doing things like even a side bend, just kind of having that stability so that you don't fall to the side or lose balance, using the chair can be really nice here. Also using the chair for leverage when you're twisting, having just options on the seat or the back of the chair can give a lot of different variations, a lot of ways to get deeper into poses or just feel more stable and supported. So I think that is it on my tips here for now. I hope that you enjoyed this little crash course, this little kind of sneak peek, and hopefully I see you in some of my videos for some full classes. Thank you so much for joining me. And as always, namaste.